Welcome back to AM 590 and on your FM dial at 99.7 and everywhere at newsradioklbj.com on our stream and where you find your favorite podcast. Let's give them the business. It's brought to you by myfurnituremarket.com. Hyundai Motor America teamed up with local law enforcement over the weekend for another free anti-theft upgrade event. Some technicians help install some new software that addresses a flaw that has allowed thieves to easily steal and just take away those Hyundais. Vice President Dave Vanderland tells CBS Austin that you could still get the upgrade if you missed this weekend's event.
Go to one of our 845 dealers across the country. They're doing this same work every day over 1,000 times, so make that appointment.
Yeah, the patch is from 2011 to 2021 models. It requires a physical key to be inserted in order to start the motor vehicle. And with more on your money, here's newsman Peter Schacknow.
Wall Street might be hard-pressed to follow up on what was nearly a perfect week for stocks. The Dow, S&P 500, and NASDAQ are all coming off their best weekly gains of the year. The S&P and NASDAQ are riding 7-day win streaks, and both have now gone positive for August after a decidedly lousy start. Carrie Firestone, co-founder of Arias Asset Management, says multiple factors are coming together to provide positive momentum for stocks.
The broadening of the market has been talked about endlessly now all year, and it hasn't really happened, but it seems to be starting to occur. This is a catalyst, and we had Warren Buffett buying Ulta, the Walmart news, July retail sales up 1% versus a much lower consensus, and Brian Niccol moving to Starbucks from Chipotle. All those ignited this rally.
The key event for the markets this week comes on Friday, when Fed Chairman Jerome Powell gives a monetary policy speech at the symposium in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, held by the Kansas City Federal Reserve. But former Fed Vice Chairman Richard Clarida isn't looking for too many surprises from Powell.
He will basically stick to the message of acknowledging substantial progress in reducing inflation. I would not expect him to give any broad hint, about 25 versus 50. I do think that in September will be data dependent on what we get on the employment report.
The next government employment report is out on September 6th. The Fed next meets on September 16th and 17th. This is a relatively light week coming up for corporate earnings, but a handful of well-known retailers are scheduled to report, including Target, Lowe's, Macy's, and BJ's Wholesale. Encouraging news from the retail sector helped the markets last week, so those numbers could determine whether the stock rally will continue.
Will a drop in interest rates in the housing market help spur that sector of the economy?
Well, it might help the home sales part of the equation, but there are other factors that are more difficult to overcome, as we saw yesterday when housing starts, a measure of new home construction projects, fell nearly 7% for July. CNBC's Diana Olick tells us mortgage rates are one issue, but there are others as well.
And it's not just the mortgage interest rate for the buyer that the builder's concerned about. It's really their own interest rates, their borrowing costs. And we're hearing that more and more from the builders. We heard that in the Builders Sentiment Survey when they said the costs of land, labor, materials, everything, but also their own borrowing costs are really hampering them from putting more holes in the ground. And that's going to obviously, hopefully, improve this fall if we do see rate cuts and we see interest rates come down.
We'll get some fresh housing data this week when the National Association of Realtors releases existing home sales for July on Thursday morning.
That is newsman Peter Schacknow reporting at the box office this weekend.
The first Alien film premiered 45 years ago. Now the newest installment.
Stop playing around, man. Just get up.
I'm not playing around. There's something in the water.
Alien Romulus won the weekend, earning $41.5 million in ticket sales. In second place this week, the superhero team-up Deadpool and Wolverine.
You were an X-Man. You were the X-Man.
The Marvel blockbuster, now in its fourth week, pulling in another $29 million, making almost $546 million over the last month. Of course, actor Ryan Reynolds plays Deadpool. His wife, Blake Lively's latest film, finishing third this week, the romantic drama It Ends With Us, made $24 million, and now has made almost $98 million in its 2 weeks in theaters. Ann Carrick, Fox News.
All right, stay close. We got traffic. We got your forecast. That's all straight ahead, and the day's top stories, too. It's the Monday edition of the Todd and Oz Show. Yeah, join us at 512-836-0590. It is 5:55.
The Todd and Oz Show.